All right, we are live. You're welcome to Opinion Sharers. My name is Paul. So we are back again, and we're going to be talking about some of the current political topics or debate, as you may want to consider it, if you consider it a debate. That's what we're going to be considering today. Nigerian election is fast approaching, and it's about 6 months to the election date. And I believe that it is going to be very highly contested. So for a while we've been looking at various political issues and political figures in Nigeria. And over the week, there are several issues and debates that happened. So we're going to be looking at the major ones. The first one would be the discussion. Was it the discussion? The invitation of the political bigwigs to NBA conference in Lagos, I believe. And then we are going to also be looking at the political meeting that happened in London. That's the two subject that we're going to be discussing. But before we go straight into the discussion, I would ask that you please help us share the link. So let's take a few seconds. Grab your phone like I'm grabbing mine. Let's quickly share the link and invite other people who might be interested in joining us. Share. Share. Okay, I'm gonna be sharing in a group, or in some groups rather. So if you happen to be in a position to share, please help us share the link. Let's invite people to join the discussion. Okay, so let's meet our guest. Let's start with Michael.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Michael by name. I'm a regular face on this platform. I'm a development practitioner with thematic area around democracy and governance. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Tosin.
Hi, friends. Welcome to the show again. I'm Citizen Lulu Atosin.
Okay, thank you, Citizen Oluwatosin. So let's start with the discussion at the NBA. I observed that the presidential candidate of APC didn't show up, but then ably his vice presidential candidate represented him. So I want to get the opinion regarding the fact that he didn't show up. What message does that what message does it send to the public, Michael?
Thank you so much. And just like every other person, at least let me say some number of people that I came across during the week reacted to it. My own position is this, and I stand to be corrected. It appears to me that those who are vying for political offices in Nigeria are possibly not taking certain things very seriously. Seriously, in the sense that the NBA conference was a selling point for all the presidential candidates. And I know that I want to assume rather, that invitation was extended to all of them. And I expected, in the true sense of it, the person of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu to actually be at the conference. But unfortunately, though I'm not amazed that he was not there. But that is actually unconnected to the political reality in the country, in the sense that though he may have his personal reasons for not being there, but as someone who is embarking on a journey and you are dealing with relevant stakeholders in the country, particularly those in the legal community, I think he was supposed to take that opportunity very seriously. But this is actually becoming, it is giving us should I say, the opportunity to actually perceive what may happen possibly when the presidential debate may happen in the next couple of months. If just let me say, a conference of Nigerians in microcosm, and I use that word making reference to people in the legal community, in the bar, that you still don't see it as any reason to be there. I felt like no, it's we are gradually not being taken, we are not being taken serious as a citizen again. And I wouldn't be surprised, because this is not a time to economize the truth. There are a lot of discussions going on here. I mean, going on here at home about this person is and some other factors that I may not be able to actually disclose here. I just feel like no, a lot is expected from him, and this is not the best of time for anybody to actually feel like they are bigger than anybody in the country. We are all I mean, we are all citizens in our own right, and I think well, he has a right to be there, and for him not to be there also, he has a right. But I felt that is not the best way to it. But as event unfolds, we see how things will play out. Thank you.
All right, Michael, thank you. Unfortunately, there were a lot of discussions about the dress code of or the dressing style of the vice presidential candidate, rather than the issues that were discussed in that conference. Anyway, my Tosin, do you think it is possible that Ashwaju is just looking at how many of these, so-called elitist group and the middle class men will vote for him? So maybe he just, waiting to capitalize on the village women and village people rather, and market women to vote for him rather than the so-called middle class, educated middle class. What do you think?
Yeah, you are right there. You are right. In fairness to him, he understands the game very well, and he's banking. That is what he's banking on. He's banking on the grassroots, on market men and women, on the gullible ones in the north too, who will vote for anyone their leaders will push forward to them. That is what he's banking on, and that is one of the reason the middle class and especially the youth must teach them a lesson in the coming election. Um, when we get there, that is why we must teach them a lesson in the forthcoming election. If they are not taking us seriously, then why should we vote for him? That is one. We might look at it in that perspective. In another perspective, is that his state of health, does it warrant, does it permit him to appear in so many public functions? His mental capacity, can he engage in a debate or in giving a speech for so long? Can he really do that? We have seen many presidential candidates granting interviews, whether private or on TV stations and all. But we have not seen Ashiwaju doing such. We are not here to mock his health condition and all. Every one of us will grow old by God's grace, and if old age is telling on anybody, we will not mock that. But at the same time, if old age is telling on anybody, such person should respect themselves and stay clear from public office, especially leading more than 200 million people. That is no child's play. That is no. That is not even Olori Ebi capacity. It's not being the head of the family. No. So, and if he also is coming out to throw taunts at people, if they throw at him, let nobody say, hey, Agbalagba kini kan. No. So his mental health, his health condition, does it allow him to have a one-on-one conversation with people? You are saying something? Okay. Okay. Now, does his health, can he stand and talk for so long? So if people cannot even grant interview and all these smaller things, Nigerians should be careful who they are going to vote for in the next election. 2015 election, so much was pointed out about the present president, Muhammadu Buhari, but we choose to ignore them, thinking he will get there and perform miracle. But unfortunately, he get there and he himself confessed to the fact that old age, one, ill health, two, has hindered him to perform well to his full capacity. So if the present day administration, the head of the present day administration, the president has complained of these two vital things, and this candidate is having those things in him, why are they pushing him, or why is he pushing himself forward to lead us if that is not wickedness? So we might say is banking on the grassroots to vote for him. Another thing is his mental health. Does it allow him to show up in gatherings like that?
All right, thank you very much. We cannot say, maybe, we unfortunately they didn't give us much to believe. That's why we have to speculate. I wish that there is something that we can hold them to, that such that we don't necessarily have to speculate about what could and what may have not happened. There's if you look at the comment section here, Mr. OBJJ saying that Tinubu, the truth is that Tinubu is feeble and is not visible. Okay. Anyway, that is his own opinion. That Baba is feeble and perhaps is not that strong and all of that. But whether we like it or not, or whether he likes it or not, he has to canvass, he has to campaign, he has to travel across the country, canvassing for votes. I just hope, just like Tosin said, that he will not be packaged, using style to carry him to walk around, and then get into political office, and then you have to first of all travel to Germany for 100 days, at the expense of the Nigerian people. That would be terrible, especially at a time like this. But then, moving on, Michael, you said, I'm trying to quote you here. You said you are not amazed that Tinubu was not in that conference. May I ask why? Why do you think so? And is it that he might not, like I asked Tosin, do you think he might not be, expecting much from the educated middle class Nigerian?
Yeah, not necessarily, because I mean, it's an elite as well. So for him to actually do away with some stakeholders within the elitist community may be to his own disadvantage as well. But what I'm saying in essence is that, well, he may have a lot of foot soldiers across the country that are canvassing support for him. But there are instances where you have to just speak for yourself, that you don't even need any representation at all. People must speak for you. I mean, if people are speaking for you in places, a time will definitely come that we have to speak for yourself to defend your own cause. So the NBA conference, to me, it was a selling point, and it was an opportunity to actually express his mind, to Nigerians on what he has in mind to do and what he wants to change, how he wants to go about changing the dented narratives of the country. But unfortunately, it was not there. And I said I was not surprised because, it was a gathering where we have a whole lot of intellectuals present. Of course, he is an intellectual in his own right, but we have seen instances, we have seen a lot of videos online where he was just, trying to, struggling to express himself. And it will not actually, should I say, augur well if such is happening in a large gathering as such. And I am of this opinion that when in terms of being qualified for something, yes, one may be intellectually qualified, you may be politically qualified, as it were, quote and unquote, but there are other factors that we need to consider. And if it is in the interest of Nigerians and the general populace, of course, it is something I feel like one should actually, as a contestant, should consider over and over again. Of course, we also admit that he has a constitutional right. It is his right to contest election, but it is far more than that. Of what benefit will it be? I haven't seen example of from President Muhammadu Buhari, who have confessed over time that his ill health is old age is a factor that has affected him. I feel like, my personal opinion though, that at this point Nigeria needs a leader that will balance the gap between the old and the young. And when I say balance the gap between the old and the young, now that he has gotten the party ticket, there is practically nothing anybody can do again. He just have to actually push along the line. But I just was thinking in my head, why can't this Baba just consider his head, for crying out loud? I know the quest for power can be very crazy. Everybody wants power, as in power is good. But I just felt like, to manage Nigeria, the very heterogeneous country, is not a child's play. I was thinking in my head that if I were to be in this man's shoe, I would just rather be playing a supportive role than to say I want to be everywhere. There's no way it will actually weigh him down. It will tell on him. And I'm just putting him as a position of my biological father. If I have opportunity to talk to him, I just say that, please, let us just, consider the interest of the nation. Old age is telling on you. Just why not consider another person within your party formation to go into the pool, while you just play the fatherly and the supportive role? But this has much to do with conscience. And in this part of the world, it is somewhat difficult for us to be critical in our thought. And today I made a post on my Facebook page. I just want to get the right lexicon correctly. Just permit me. And I was actually thinking about Nigeria when I made that post, and I said 2023 elections. If we don't do away with sentiment in making our choices, Nigeria may not experience political redemption. And when we talk of political redemption, we are equally talking of leadership, because everything hangs on the neck of politics. Whether we want to get it right in terms of political leadership, national leadership, state leadership, and leadership across level, it has to be true politics. This is not religion now come into play. So I was just worried this morning and looking at the class of people, and it is not about Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu alone. The same thing is applicable to what's his name, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president. These are people in their 70s. At 70, it is not easy to even, a lot of health challenges will be there. A lot of things will be there. You have a lot of things to battle with. And I've listened to a conversation over and over again by, the opinion of former Senate Chief Whip, Senator Olushola Adeyeye, Note, I'm not disputing the constitutional right of anybody to contest, but we just have to be very objective. Nigeria is like one of the referred scholars. I think is it Professor who now? Ayuade, the emeritus professor, who will always say Nigeria is a crippled giant. And no doubt, at this time, Nigeria is crippled. We need a leader with that vigor, strength, and vitality to actually marshal the cause of our political redemption or national redemption, as the case may be. So it is something that is quite worrisome to me. I wish we have a younger candidate in the PDP, we have a younger candidate in the APC, and let them go to the pool. Then with that alone, it will further shall I say enhance the political debate. It will further enhance the political strategy. It will further enhance the engagement with citizens, because I look forward to seeing a president who will just wake up one morning and say, oh, I'm going to what's the name of this market in Aba market to engage with the traders. It is, I mean, moving across the country, jetting all around. Somebody who can engage, who will not be actually limited as a result of old age. I was just worried this morning, and that was why I came to that conclusion that this is not the best of time to apply sentiment in making decision about our choices of our choice of leadership as we approach 2023 general elections. But the reality is, of course, playing out already. We have a man of 75 years old in the PDP, and we have Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be, I think, 71, if I'm correct, because the age chart was actually presented I think was yesterday, the age chart of all the
that is the official age, right?
Yeah, yes. If we say the official age, I think I understand what you are saying clearly. So it is something that we all need to be worried about. And lastly, on this note, I would say it is just a personal admonition. I'm imagining like him being my father, and I'm being constructive in my approach now. I watched a video online. I don't know who actually shared the video. I think they were at the airport when they were moving. I mean, from maybe they were disembarking from the plane and then moving to the lounge. And I was looking at Festus Keyamo, I mean, the spokesperson of APC presidential campaign, looking at Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu meticulously. And I took my time to use my little knowledge of psychology to decipher his mind, to examine what was going on in his mind. I could see a man, like in his true state of art. He's like, I like, he was worried about how I mean, how I mean, he was worried about the things that was playing out in the immediate environment. But these are a set of people that will come to the media to tell us that this and that and that. Whoever is telling us that, I've heard them talk about that presidency, you are not going there to fight boxing, you are not going there to fight wrestling. At the point Nigeria is right now, we need the president who can technically be a boxer, a wrestler, because we have so many things to wrestle with. This is not a time. This is not a time to be sentimental. Some will say, okay, you are a Yoruba person. This is, let's forget whether I am a Yoruba, I am Hausa, I am Igbo. Let us bring facts to the table. Carry your pen and paper, do analysis, write out the key points, and then cross-examine. And let us use that as a checkpoint in making our own choices as we approach 2023 general elections. It's worrisome, but let us see how things will play out. But I will always say, I will always refer to to this common choice of words that I have, the words of Bishop Matthew Azankuka. I will always say, well, the only thing we have for now is called hope, and is the hope is the only commodity we have. So let us see how Nigerians we engage in critical thinking at this time, so that we will not face the same rhetorics in the next for the next 4 or to 8 years. And let me also add again, conclusively, it is not just about maybe APC, PDP alone. We also have them across board. Let us be very objective, and let our objectivity be for the interest of all, not because of, do I say, the pecuniary gains that may come, a combo of items that may fall on individual table. It should be for the interest of the larger populace. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Michael. I know you will soon go, but I actually wanted you to comment on the meeting in London. So give me 2 minutes. All right. Let me ask Tosin a particular question that has been on my mind, and that question is that suppose APC was able to nominate or vote or choose or select or elect PYO. Do you think it would have been a little bit easier for them, for APC? That's Tosin. After that, I will want Michael to comment on the issue of the meeting in London.
Yeah, if some people might not know the PYO. So if the APC will have given the ticket, or if the vice president, that's our Professor Yemi Osinbajo, will have been the flag bearer of APC, it will have been a different ball game. It will have been a game changer for them. Most of the people that are obedient now might not be obedient. They might be selling ice cream. And so, because they go for that choice, they left a lot of people with no choice but to be obedient and be useful at the same time. It is foolishness. It is a political suicide also for the so-called delegates at their convention, to see a hale and healthy and a meticulous, a vibrant person in Osinbajo, and choose to give their vote for Asiwaju. Even with the speech Osinbajo gave that day, I think a right-thinking person should have a change of mind, even if you have concluded your mind for. But as we know, many people are only controlled by money and their stomach. They don't even mind about their own future or the future of their children. So they just mess up with their vote. So it will have been a different ball game. The job will have been very easier for them. Now everybody campaigning for Asiwaju, they look stupid. You cannot campaign for him and not look stupid. A man cannot be in that state and you are campaigning for him. Have you seen Keyamo talking? Aggressively, he want to fight. He want to throw punch in the TV, in the studio, because they know the product they are selling is a bad product. If you have a good product, you don't need to shout and your throat is busted before you can pass out your point. They all know this, but because of their greed, because of what they want to eat, because many of them are not loyal to the country Nigeria, they are only loyal to their pockets, because many of them even have passport of other country, passport of other nations. And if wahala happen now, the base, the jackpot. Some of them don't even have their family in Nigeria. So why do we think they have the interest of Nigeria at heart? And these are the same set of people that call themselves they are spokesperson, they are representatives, they are ministers. Really, it is very sad, the situation we find ourselves in the hand of all these political talks, political termites.
Okay, Dawson. I don't know where you heard that political termite from, Cha. Oh, Michael has left.
They are eating us. So they are termites. They are eating us.
Okay. All right. I was going to ask this other question about the London between Wike, Atiku, and Obi. In your opinion, Tosin, looking at is Nigeria not enough for them to discuss our political issue? You are still going to our colonizer, going to their yard, going to their hotel to discuss our political issue. After how many years? What happen now? What is it that they cannot discuss in Nigeria that they have to fly to London to discuss? Yeah, I felt, and I saw a lot of people discussing it on Twitter when that picture was trending. That they have to go to the backyard of our tormentor or colonizers, to discuss our politics, even after how many years of independence. So I wanted to ask Michael before you go. Michael, I said, what is your opinion regarding that meeting that is taking place in London between, I think it was first of all Obi and Wike, then it was Atiku and Wike, and you see all these governors were with him, and some of these other political big wigs were there with him. So what is it about London? What's peculiar about discussing our politics in London that they cannot do it in Nigeria? Second, I want you to take this one in addendum to that. What is the preparation for the coming election? What is it like? What is the body language on the street generally concerning the election? Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. About the meeting that was held in London, well, I don't think this is the first time that will be happening. A lot of, I think you call it political strategy and negotiate. To me, it is negotiation. And we have seen what has been playing out between Atiku and Wike in the last, ever since they finished their, even before they had their national convention. We saw all that played out, and even at pre and post convention period. And one very key thing about politics is negotiation. And if you don't have that negotiation power, is a problem. And you use problem to negotiate to get your own gains. So I guess Wike saw advantage in the drama that played out at their convention to turn himself to a lord that should be worshipped across party divides, because technically Wike is more like the bride to be embraced or to be married by either APC, PDP, or Labour Party. And there are some things that maybe their presence within the four corners of the country, it may give room for them to, it may give room, just like in Ekiti, they will say Ogirileti. But that it does not in any way mean that Nigerians cannot actually decipher what is going on.
I think Nigeria has happened to Michael. Okay, I hope that he will join us again. Maybe.
Sorry, can you hear me, please?
Oh, okay, you're back.
The network is just fluctuating.
Yeah, I know. Are you there?
No, for sure is this.
Michael.
No matter, sorry, a call just came in.
Oh,
no matter the situation, we'll all get to know one thing will definitely happen. We know all that is that they have gone to negotiate. We definitely get to know all of them as time goes by. We may not have the insight to all at the moment, but we know that former President Olusegun Obasanjo, he himself also have a personal interest in this game. And technically, some of the owners of Nigeria, they also have interest to protect. But let's see how events will unfold. And about the political atmosphere in the country, well, it is gradually becoming interesting. And we must also commend INEC, the electoral umpire, for the level of preparation they are putting in place. We saw what played out in Ekiti and Osun election. We hope rather, that they will be able to sustain the tempo at the general elections, so that the level of commendation that Nigerians have been giving to them will get to increase in the next couple of months as we approach the poll. So Nigerians are really anticipating, and we hope that things will work out fine, peacefully. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Michael. I'm glad you were able to respond to that, regardless of the disruption. So, Tosin, when you look at the role that Wike is kind of playing, I learned that even Ashwaji himself has met with him. So he is becoming like, positioning himself like a central figure. What kind of game do you think he is playing?
We cannot deny the fact that Wiki is a is a force to be reckoned with. At the same time, we should not give him the powers that he doesn't have. The only thing is the way they are treating him, or the way they have treated him in PDP, is not good enough. He has been a party man, loyal to the party, and carry the party on his back, and do not deserve to be treated that way. And that's the only thing that is getting him all this attention, is the way he has been treated, and nothing. Not that because he's that big guy. No. But at the same time, we cannot say Wike is a small guy. He can make something happen. He can make something happen, especially in his own area, in his own hood. He can make something happen. And having him in your team is having a big name. So as it looks now to be a political orphan, everybody is trying to adopt him. His own political party seems to have messed up with him, and he's not even in good time with them. Instead, he's attacking Atiku the last time, saying Atiku is lying and all that. So he seems like a political orphan now, that, or a political bride, that many guys are now after him to woo him to their side. So whichever way we're going, I think is a plus for whoever is able to have him, is a plus. And again, about the venue and the meeting, it's just laying emphasis on the incompetency of these guys, and how many of them are more loyal to other nations, to other country than Nigeria. If they have put Nigeria in the right position, will have issues running escata to be having meeting in other parts of the world? Because the country is not even secured. Anywhere they try to gather themselves and people know they are there, they can willy them. The country is not secure. Even the president himself is not safe. His convoy is being attacked. So that is why they need to run outside the country to start having meeting up and down, different from one country to another, from one country to another, jumping up and down. Because the country Nigeria that they have been in charge of, some of them have been in charge of Nigeria since I was born. Since I was a teenager, in my teen, Atiku has been running. So this is the country they have given us. This is the country they have made for themselves. They are not even proud of the country. They are more loyal to other countries than Nigeria. They are more obedient. They are more law-abiding in other countries than when they are in Nigeria. All their shenanigans when they are leaving Nigeria, they drop it at the airport. All their big manism and braggadocious attitude, they will leave it at the airport when they are leaving Nigeria. When they are in another country, they compose themselves very well. So that's just it. They find comfort in another country than comfort in Nigeria. They are run that they want to govern. Somebody like Atiku, I posted something, I think some hours ago. I said Atiku, I need to check because I posted that out of frustration. Really, I was really frustrated this afternoon when I made that post because Atiku has been in Dubai. He's been living in Dubai some for some time now, and Nigerians in UAE are facing hard time. And this same person cannot speak for Nigerians in UAE.
Yeah,
Okay, so I said,
maybe he doesn't have that kind of influence that we think he has.
okay, I will tell you why he has the influencer. The post, let me go through the post where I say PDP are terrible opposition. Imagine Atiku living in Dubai, knowing the problems Nigerians are facing here, but he cannot use that as a political scorecard against APC. He does not have the capacity to solve the problem. I agree. If he doesn't have the capacity to solve the problem, does he also not have the capacity to use that as a political scorecard for himself? Or he's not aware also that we are in that problem? He's also not aware. And he wants to be our president. What capacity does he have to be the president of Nigeria? If a small fraction of Nigerians are suffering in UAE that he has been for more than 2 years, and he cannot even speak in their support, he cannot talk to Nigerian government. If he doesn't have the capacity to talk to UAE government, he doesn't also have the capacity to talk to the Nigerian government. He doesn't have the capacity to attack them as an opposition. He cannot use that as a scorecard for himself so that we even say, this person that wants to be our president, though, I think he's more vibrant than the guy there now. All of them are just birds of the same feather. The only thing on their head is how to buy vote on election day. It's not even how to debate and convince the electorate, but how to buy vote. When and how can we continue like this as a country, as a nation? And we want our country to function well, and we want a country that we can live for our kids. Things are not done this way. Opposition in other countries don't behave like this. PDP were a terrible government when they're in power. They left power, they are terrible opposition. Their presidential candidate, he practically stays in Dubai. He only goes to Nigeria for functions and come back to Dubai. And Nigerians in Dubai have not got to work permit for more than for more than 1 year now, and he cannot say anything regarding this issue. If he doesn't have the capacity like we think he does, like his political erat we claim he does, if he doesn't have the capacity to talk to the UAE government or to negotiate with them to solve the problem, if he doesn't have the capacity, okay, does he and his campaign managers and his puppet running up and down, running their mouths like basket mouth, Dino, do they also not have the capacity to hold the president, the administration accountable on that? Do they not see how APC was running riot when APC was in opposition? How Lai Mohammed was running propaganda up and down?
Well, Tosin, that's a critical issue you've raised there, and unfortunately, some of the truths is we may never know, because somehow you find out that even Atiku himself does not even be like it doesn't act like an opposition to Buhari. When he talks, he doesn't mention Buhari now. He really mentions Buhari. So
because all of them are birds of the same feather, he cannot get there and perform any magic. He doesn't have any political scorecard. He doesn't have any magic. He doesn't have any solution to the problems we have. The only thing he can do, he can say, and his his spokespeople can say he will unite Nigeria and he has wives from every part of Nigeria. Is that how politics, is that how a nation is being run? Because somebody's married wives from every part of the nation, then he's a good president. Because he doesn't have the capacity, because he doesn't have what it takes. Even Buhari was a good opposition. Even Buhari was still talking against subsidy. He was still making empty threats and empty promises up and down. Even Buhari was a good opposition. So because this guy, the only thing he wants is to become president and nothing. He doesn't have anything to offer. If he has something to offer, let him talk. Let him speak against the present administration. Is Buhari don't promise him power? As Buhari promised him that they will hand over power to him. So why is he not doing the business well? Why does he think he can just he can buy his way into office? Let them play the game according to the rules. We want to see capacity in somebody that say he want to become our president. If we are saying Asiwaju, there his fubu, his health condition, his age condition, we not allow him to be president. What about article that is saying that his people are saying he can do interview, he can do this, he can do that. He can only do interview and just run empty issues on the interviews. What about the one that is happening in his backyard in Dubai here? Or he doesn't know. He's not aware too. He's disconnected with the people he wants to govern also. Like the president now, everything is not aware. Is he also not aware? And he wants people to vote for him.
That's food for thought. I wish that one of his Iraq will send this video and cut this particular point and send to him so that he would know that some people are aware, that he lives in the UAE, yet cannot negotiate or even talk about it, whether here in the UAE or in Nigeria. So it shows that perhaps he doesn't have the kind of influence that Nigerians thought he has or assume he has.
It is not even about influence, sir. It is not even about influence. It is, if he doesn't have the influence to solve the problem, he does has the influence as opposition to robe the present administration in case they are sleeping on that issue. He has the influence to call the attention to it, to use it as a political scorecard. Share our politics in it.
But also it might also be about interest, Tosin. He might not want to talk about it because of some form of interest that he might have in the UAE or back in Nigeria, or or both. So he might be avoiding it deliberately.
If that is the case, then he's not qualified to be our president. And I don't think any right-thinking Nigerian should vote for Atiku Abubakar in the 2023 election. If his personal interests will jeopardize the interests of thousands of Nigerians living, working, and law-abiding Nigerians residing in UAE, if you cannot be a voice for them in their lowest level in life, then he's not worthy to be our president.
I actually agree with you. In fact, what I have against him, now that you that you raise this point, becomes two. Ordinarily, what I have against him before was the fact that we cannot have a Buhari from the north for 8 years and start another northerner. It doesn't make sense to me. As much as they might say it is politics, it is in PDP, Buhari is in the APC, it doesn't make sense to me for us to have finished 8 years of Buhari and start another one from another northerner. There will be more agitation. There will be more agitation. I don't know how an article would be able to appeal to the Oduduwa people or appeal to the IPOB people not to make noise. I don't know how he would be able to do it, So, and from what we have seen, we've seen that you might flog them, you might shoot some people, but that does not mean that their agitation will die. So it doesn't make sense to me for us to have another northerner, especially with how divided Nigeria is currently. He just be making noise and saying, yeah, we unite the country. How is he going to do it when people are hungry? he has wife everywhere. So we have the anyway. Finally, I want to ask you about OBJ's support for Obi. It seemed like OBJ was also in London, met with Wike alongside with OBJ. I'm wondering what's peculiar about Baba and Atiku, Baba and Obi.
OBJ and Obi. Every right thinking Nigeria, we see the options we have on ground now, and they will rather go with an Obi than any one of other option. It's just to show that Baba is still is still who he used to be. He's still conscious about the feelings, about the agony of Nigerians. That means he's still in touch with reality. It's not the president that will say he's not aware. He's still he's aware of the reality of things and how things is being run. And in his own time, even before he will leave us, he wants to make an impact and try to right all the wrongs that because it's all of them, they have put in place. So if God will help him and Obi will come, hopefully, we are not saying Obi is the Messiah. No one is the Messiah. No one is coming to perform magic. As much as we are hoping to have a good president, we also as the citizens must be a good citizen. We also must be a good citizen. So OBJ is doing a great job by taking Obi ups and down. At least we have someone that's identified with Obi and one of the owners, so-called owners of Nigeria. So that is good. I think Baba is also there to maybe help Obi woo Wike in the London meeting. That would be good if Obi will have somebody like Wike in his camp. It will really, because Wike we know is a talking ado. When he talks, he does what he says. So he is good for him. I like the part that Baba Obasanjo also is playing. And many people have argued that Obasanjo is part of the problem, blah, blah, blah. I say not lie. The little respect Nigeria has to date, Obasanjo is one of the people that earned us that respect. When he was president between 1999 to 2003, he's one of the people that earned us that respect. So is it 2003 or 2007? One of the two. So he's one that earned us that respect. During Obasanjo time, you will see head of states running to Abuja. Now we can barely see head of state coming to Abuja to see our president. The only head of state we have coming out is from Niger and Chad.
Because Baba is giving them our money and building railway to their country. Anyway, let's hope. I'm feeling like maybe Baba Obasanjo is representing the what they call the Z86 set. They call them the 86 boys. They are among the most powerful people in Nigeria. They contributed immensely to destroying the country, and let's hope that he's trying to redeem the set as well. I believe he has also introduced him to some of his northern friends. So let's see. We are going to be monitoring the election as it goes. Our eyes are on them. I've always say it on this program that our eyes is fixated on that 2023 election. So, and we'll be here to discuss whatever they do or say or wherever they go. We are following them. We are torchlighting them. So, thank you, viewers, for staying with us today. It's another time for us to discuss what's happening in Nigeria concerning the politics, especially. And so today, we have looked at the current political debates happening in the country. We've had Oluwatosin and Michael Tosin, you want to give your final word before we close for today?
Finally, okay, we should maybe we have some of our friends watching from the UAE. I've seen some in the comment section. So we should, if you have people that are stranded and wanted to go back to Nigeria, please, the Nigerian government is providing free flight for them at Awi Immigration, Dubai. Go back to Nigeria, please. The Nigerian government is providing at Awi Immigration in Dubai. Let them find their way there with their bags from Monday morning, very early on Monday, that the documentations will continue. For those that are already in the camp, some of them still chatting this afternoon, they are waiting, it's went blank. Weekend, nothing happen weekend until weekdays. And at this stage we have now is documentation, documentation process is going on. And this documentation process is not just what will happen like this. So please, just hold on. This Nigerian government are trying to put things together. Let us allow them at least work and let us see that they are working. So let us allow them, let us be in good conduct. For every Nigerian that is in UAE or so and at outside not ready to go home now, please let us compose ourselves well. If you see any bad news, bad voice notes circulating about Nigerians, please don't follow, don't share. If you see any video that fight video about Nigerians circulating, it gets to you, please don't share it. Don't post it anywhere, even on your status. Don't even post it that you are against it. By the time you post it, that means you are giving it publicity. Let us be in good, uh, let us compose ourselves well, because all the problems we are having right now in this country, these are things that cause it. Posting of negative videos and voice note about ourselves is what is putting us in this difficult situation. So let us portray ourselves in a good light. If you see a little success a Nigerian is trying to make in UAE, let us project that so that they can hear something good about us.
All right, thank you, Tosin. I hope they are giving them food in the camp there, right?
Yes, the person that chatted me today, I asked him, he said they usually give them food 3 times,
Three
sometimes
times
twice.
daily. Okay.
He said sometimes twice. So
Okay.
it's fair.
Okay. That's okay. It's better than being on the street now. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
even if they put them there 1 month, as long as they have a place to put their head and something to
That
eat, they don't
being
have
fair.
to hustle for money. That's better. It's fair at least, and nobody's going to arrest you somewhere and go put you in prison. I think it's far better than roaming on the street or going to look for sleep in the park or, you know, UAE is not a place like that. So I will say thank you to the guys at the immigration, Nigerian immigration. I will also want to say thank you to the UAE government agency that is responsible for taking care of those guys.
Mm.
We know that it's not easy to get shelter free or food free here in the UAE. And so the fact that they are doing that, kudos to them. And as Nigerians, good Nigerian citizens, we say thank you on behalf of Nigeria. So, guys, thank you for watching today. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your comments. We are going to be going now, and we'll be back again next week. Thank you, JJ, OBJJ. Thank you very much. I appreciate your comments and engagement. Then, Mr. Adebanjo Adebiyi, thank you, sir. Who else? Then there is Okoha John, thank you. And then Godwin Julius, thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. We will be back again next week. Please help us share the video. It doesn't cost you anything to share, it's free.
Mm.
We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube and Twitter. So thank you very much. It's Opinion Sharers. We are going to be following whatever is happening to this regarding this election and other issues that pertain to Nigerians, both at home and abroad. We'll be back again next week, next week, Saturday, 5 p.m. Thank you very, very much. Bye-bye from now.